Hi, buds. I'm your host, Sam.
And I'm your co-host, Ozzy.
And this is Kush and Crime.
Oh, yeah.
Hello and welcome to Kush and Crime. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are very excited to bring you this first ever episode. And what we're going to do today is tell you a little bit about our Kush side first, and then we're going to jump into our case. So we don't smoke on the podcast itself just because I don't think you guys want to hear us coughing up lungs, but we do smoke a lot before and every time we take a break, which is pretty often because we keep messing up.
And I'm high.
And we're high going into this, so I hope you rolled up one, okay? So Ozzy's going to go ahead and tell you about our strain of the day. Ozzy?
Today's strain of the day is Blue Dream.
Ooh.
Blue Dream is a sativa dominant hybrid strain made by crossing blueberries with haze.
That sounds good.
Num, 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 num. This strain produces a balanced high along with the effects of such cerebral stimulation and full body relaxation. Blue Dream is 18% THC but has a very low CBD percentage, making this potent strain a fan favorite for both novice and veteran consumers. In terms of flavor, Blue Dream is reported to smell and taste like sweet berries. Num 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 again. Medical marijuana patients often use Blue Dream to treat symptoms of depression, chronic pain, and nausea. Back to you, Sam.
Thank you, Ozzy. And now with the weather. I'm just kidding.
It's raining sideways.
So basically, we took that information off of Leafly. You can go ahead and look that up yourself there as well. So that's our strain today. So that's what we've been hitting in our Cheech mini bong, which is a fantastic story of how we came to this piece.
Oh, God.
And I want to tell it.
Of course you would.
Well, it's a good get to know you, and, you know, it's also pretty funny. So...
Sure.
We went to the smoke shop local to us, and we had found this cute little bubbler. It was black. It was pretty dope. It appealed to my spoopy side, and I wanted it so bad. And it wasn't too bad. It was like $60. So, you know, it wasn't like fantastic quality, but I loved the thing. I've never had a bubbler in my entire life. I wanted one so bad. So I bought it. We're home for all of, what?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. I smoked out of it once, and Ozzy is sitting on the couch. And for some strange reason, he just went and stretched his foot out onto the table and knocked over the piece.
And that's when I knew I fucked up.
So I was sitting at my desk, which is behind the couch, and I was like, "Did you just break that?"
Yep.
He said, "No. No, it's not broken." And I looked over and I said, "Really?" Because there's a lot of water like all over the place. And he's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." He ran out of the house.
I can super glue it.
I said, "No, you can't." But I was so upset because I was so excited.
I can tell the disappointment and anger in her eyes.
I wasn't even mad. I was just so sad because I really wanted a bubbler, and that was like perfect for my aesthetic. So he literally ran out of the house.
Out of the house to get her another one.
He literally ran back to the smoke shop.
Which was more expensive than the original one.
Yeah, this piece goes for about, I think, $150.
Yeah.
But it's cute. It's orange at the top, and then it also has orange where you put the bowl into. So, but yeah, it's funny what happened. I think it's cute that he immediately ran out of the house because he knew he
I didn't want to get killed.
No, I wasn't gonna kill him, but so that's what we're smoking out of today is this Cheech piece, which is one of our regulars, so it'll probably come up a couple times. And
unless it's my Batman bong.
Oh,
but that's
yeah.
for another one.
We don't really use that much.
I use it.
So that's kind of what we're going to do going forward with the Kush segments. We'll talk about what we're smoking and what we're smoking out of. And I have a lot of pieces. He doesn't like them, but that's okay. I'll talk about them. And even if you don't smoke, that's okay. You can still listen. You could just skip ahead to the case. And like we said, we don't smoke during the case, so you're not going to hear coughing. You're not going to hear any of that. So if you want to skip the Kush part, that's perfectly fine. We're here to suit your true crime needs as well.
Yep, exactly. Well said.
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about ourselves and why we're doing this now that we are medicated and ready to discuss true crime.
Medicated is quote unquote.
Medicated, and make sure you smoke responsibly because I didn't tell you to smoke. Just do it responsibly.
Wink, wink.
I didn't do that. Again, there's a highway, sorry. So basically, I have been listening to true crime. I don't know, I've always been interested in true crime ever since America's Most Wanted came out. It used to scare the shit out of me. Have you ever seen that show?
No, because I've never had cable.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah.
But it always used to scare me. I always used to think that the fucking people were coming to kill me and me alone. So I've always had my head on a swivel. And I've been really interested in true crime, and I used to watch a lot of crime shows as well. I think almost every single crime show I've watched.
Every single time.
Yeah, so that's my interest in true crime is very deep rooted, and the reason why I decided to do this was because I like listening to true crime podcasts, but I ran out of people that I like to listen to, and I got all caught up on the podcasts that I do like. So I said, fuck it, I'm just going to research on my own and tell my husband about it, who is pretty novice at new crime. True crime.
Yeah, I don't know anything about true crime whatsoever. I'm more of a horror fan, like movies and stuff like that, but never into like cold case files and anything like that.
Well, it's not all cold cases we're going to go over. I don't really like to do a lot of unsolved cases because they just leave me feeling empty because they didn't get solved. They didn't get wrapped up in a nice, neat little bow. But we will throw some in here and there. But most of the cases are going to be like with someone in jail, or they know who did it, but for some reason they couldn't nab them.
Okay.
So
story time.
Yeah. So here we go. Okay. So Jennifer Farber, who is Jennifer Dulos. So Farber is her maiden name. That's who we're talking about today. So she was born and raised in New York City. She had graduated from Brown University with honors and then later earned a master's in writing from New York University Tisch School of the Arts, so NYU. She was an accomplished author. She was doing journalism, writing essays. She was even writing screenplays. She was also working on a novel. She was described as being someone who was deeply genuine, compassionate, trustworthy, subtly hilarious, brilliant, and creative by her friends and family. What is subtly hilarious?
I don't know.
Like, how can you be subtly hilarious? Would that just mean, like, you're not hilarious to certain people? Are you sarcastic? What is subtly hilarious?
I mean, I guess indirectly, like a jokester, maybe?
I mean, yeah, but I don't get the subtle.
Unless you're just a clown-looking person every day that makes fun of you every day, so it's subtly.
It's subtle? Okay, I don't know. But anyway.
Clowns are sneaky, man.
I fucking hate clowns so much. All right, because I hate them so much, we're going to keep going. While she was at Brown in 1986, she had met Farber Dulos. This motherfucking douchebag. He's a fucking...
Whoa.
No, he's a fucking dick. I'm gonna lay the scene out for you. You're gonna see why he's a dick. However, the relationship didn't turn romantic until 17 years later. They saw each other randomly in Aspen. It was like a meet cute. And they were just, like, at the airport. And I'm sure, like, they saw each other. And they're like, oh, my God, I know that person. And they were all just like, hee. That's probably what happened. I could see that. Aspen, like, you're just running into someone that you know. And, I'm not going to lie. Fotis is kind of handsome. Like, the rich side of exactly. So that kind of sets the scene to what we're doing here.
The only reason why I know that's because of Dumb and Dumber.
Well, yeah. So Aspen is obviously really rich. And, these people are pretty rich. I won't lie. Like, they're pretty rich. So
does he drive up with a Ferrari up in the hill?
I know he had a Porsche. I don't know if he ever had a Ferrari. But we'll get into that. A little bit further. We'll go. All right. So after their meet cute, essentially, he began to send emails to Jennifer and be like, hey, Jennifer, you want to get together?
The good old days.
Yeah, emails. So they grew closer, but Fotis at the time, he was actually married. And so he ended up getting a divorce. Her name was Hillary. I don't know how to say her last name. So no. It says Aldama. I'm going to guess that's how you say it. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at names. I don't really care. So he ended up divorcing her in July of 2004, and then he married Jennifer 1 month later in August.
Oh, damn, that's quick.
Right? Isn't that so quick? Like,
Jesus.
Damn, what a turnaround.
Like, goddamn, like she didn't even turn the corner and just come
literally,
in.
scooping her up.
Damn hoe.
Yeah. Anyway. So after their marriage, so they ended up having actually 2 sets of twins, and then they had one more child after that. So they had 5 children altogether.
That's a lot of kids.
That is a lot of kids. I did find their names, but I'm just not going to mention them because they don't need to be brought into all this because I'm sure they've gone through enough. So we don't need to bring them in. So 5 children. And since Fotis was in real estate in Connecticut, our home state,
something
unfortunately.
always happens in Connecticut.
Actually, there's not much that happens in Connecticut, which is why this was so interesting. All right.
You got money. You cover things up, man.
All right. Shh. We don't need to get killed here. I'm just kidding. All right, so since he was in real estate, they ended up moving together to 4 Jefferson Crossing in Farmington. And for those of you that don't really know Connecticut, it has a lot of nice homes. That's why we're sitting here and joking about people being rich. 50 Cent actually used to live in Farmington. Yeah. And that was actually Mike Tyson's house that he purchased. So I don't think he still does, but that just goes to show you, like, Farmington, it has lots of really rich homes. They're huge. They're multi-million dollars. And, you know, it's the suburbs of Hartford. So... and we'll come back later to, like, the kind of geographical outlay. What the hell is the word I'm looking for? Layout. There we go. Thank you. Of Connecticut. Yeah, essentially the map. We'll kind of go over that in a little bit more detail. But if you're curious, look up that address. It's 4 Jefferson Crossing in Farmington. The house was actually listed. That's Fotis's house. And you can see it on Zillow. And it's huge. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
I think I showed it to you.
Farmington is by far like one of the richest cities in Connecticut.
Well, also Greenwich, Avon, which we're also going to talk about actually next. Yeah. So because Fotis he owns his own real estate company. It's the four group. It's like, I don't know. They have houses. Whatever.
Branches. Yeah,
they sell houses. They work on houses, things like that. So he has a fucking shit ton of money if he's living in at that house.
So he basically have like different businesses and different like.
It's a 4 group. Yeah.
Yeah. So one, for example, like one is for like house supplies. Another one's for like plumbing, stuff like that.
Well, no. Like he has like it's almost like real estate. Like there's properties that he owns.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So he's bringing in all this money, and Jennifer is a stay-at-home mom with all those children. So Fotis makes sure, because, you know, he's rich, that they have everything they ever want, you know, spoils the kids. And he insists, obviously, that his kids play sports just like he does, and he does a lot of water skiing and stuff like that.
Okay. Seems like a legitimate dad stuff to do.
Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty legit, but he was pretty hard on the kids to compete and stuff, and he competed himself.
Yeah, but, you know,
all right,
different.
Like, maybe not take his side too much.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
We cool?
No, we're not. All right, so since Jennifer is an author, obviously she uses writing as her outlet. So, like most girls journal. Jennifer was writing on a blog, and she was actually blogging in Avon, and she was getting her thoughts out in a way that was healthy to her. So she would write on Patch.com for Avon, and like we just talked about, that's another really rich town, and you could totally look that up too, another multi-million-dollar homes. And also she was writing on 5make7.com. So she mostly wrote about her friends, her family, you know, the people that she interacted with on day-to-day. You know, pretty typical.
Yeah, it seems like a normal type of girl.
Yeah, definitely super normal. But, you know, there were instances where she began to hint that things were not going well in her marriage.
And this is where it probably goes south, huh?
Oh, I would consider it downright ominous, let me tell you. So on March 12th of 2012, I don't know why that came out super Canadian. What? 2012, eh? I'm sorry. We moved. We used to live in Connecticut. Now we live in Florida, and my accent is doing some funny things.
And talking about accents, I always have a Spanglish dictionary language.
He speaks backwards because his first language is Spanish, and sometimes.
Sí.
And how do you say the pushpin? Come on, babe.
Thumbtacks.
He says thumbtacks. What's a thumbtack?
Whatever.
Anyway, we digress, but that's just, we have some speech things going on. Again, we're sorry. We're trying really hard.
I'm sorry, perdón. All right, back to the story.
Back to the case, because we're actually getting pretty serious here. So, on March 12th of 2012, she had posted, quote, "I wish I were a strong person and that confrontation did not scare and appall me." Quote. Well, unquote. So she was talking about Fotis and that. And in August 26th of 2012, she was just discussing on her blog, how she was having a hard time getting to sleep after one of the babies was born. Remember, she had 5 kids. Mm-hmm. And she said, in quotes, "I know that this too shall pass, but I fear that I may be in a body bag by then," end quote.
Oh, shit.
So
she basically, predicted her future.
Unfortunately, yeah. And it's just so downright scary because I can already know, that position that she was in where she just felt so trapped by the situation. I feel so bad for her.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just, and it's terrible.
Especially if you feel like that towards a person that supposedly you love and,
Yeah, that's another thing is, you guys
are in a relationship. And the father of your kids,
Right, you guys are in a relationship, and unfortunately that's such a reality for so many people is, domestic violence. And at the end of the episode, I do have all of the information for domestic violence, so if you are suffering through that, we'll go over that at the end of the episode. I just don't have it at the top right here. So we'll go over that. But, yeah, I can't even imagine the fear that she had during all of this. And she's writing on a blog, and it's for everybody to see. It's almost like she was crying out for help.
So it's basically her writing the diary from, the moment she predicted to the moment she died.
Essentially. And her
That's
blogs
crazy.
are still up also, so you guys can definitely go and take a look at that. But at this point, you can imagine, based on what she's writing in her blogs, that their marriage continued to fall apart. So if she's already reaching out, if she's already trying to get people to notice what she's saying, she's past the point of where this is hurting her. And I think she's at a point where he's really controlling her and really just making life very difficult. And you'll see that going forward, too.
That's pretty shitty, but...
Yeah, it really is. So Fotis was abusive to Jennifer, as I just mentioned, and the children and the children. So he would often make threats about harming them in order to control and hurt Jennifer. And there was one time that he just threatened to just take the kids and run away. Others around them, including Jennifer and Fotis's family, had begun to notice that the relationship was becoming what they would describe as volatile. So
everyone else was literally noticing this too.
Yeah, and
nobody did anything.
And nobody did anything. And, I don't want to talk shit about the family because, sometimes it's hard to get people out of that situation. And even the person himself doesn't want to leave the situation sometimes because they're in so deep.
Yeah, I know, but wouldn't you want to help the person?
Of course, but you have to understand.
See, now you got to live with this in your conscience.
Yeah, but you have to understand too. But sometimes, unfortunately being in those situations myself, not with you, but it does feel like you're trapped and you cannot go anywhere, even though you do have people, but it just feels like you don't, because the person that's manipulating you does such a great job of making you feel that you're completely alone, that you have nobody else, but you do, but they cut you off from them so you feel that you don't.
You married a jackpot because
I did. I really did.
Yeah.
You definitely don't do that. You are not that person, but unfortunately, I have had that experience, and I can completely understand.
Yeah, nobody should go through that. Even guys do often get abused mentally and physically. Yeah. But no one says anything, and it's not ready. No one's ready for that conversation.
That's true.
So, I support you, girls and guys.
Yeah. Again, we have all that information at the end of the episode, and I'm definitely going to go over it with you. We've been there. We got you. So again, other people began to notice, and it was really their family that began to notice. And later in news interviews with the family is when, that really came out that they thought that the relationship was not healthy. So during this time also, Fotis just kept spending more and more time away from the house because he just wanted to be away from Jennifer, and he was taking the kids with him too. So Jennifer was spending more time at the house by herself, and he ended up going to a ski club in Miami for a water skiing competition.
Of course, Miami.
Well, listen, we live in Florida. That's where
and you
water
know what?
activities are.
I love Florida and everything, but you guys are crazy out there, man.
Yeah, y'all drive bad.
It's like Mario Kart every day over here.
And all of the old people are back up north right now, so that's something to say. That's something to say about y'all. Okay? Even the old people aren't that bad. They just go slow. So it was during one of these trips to Miami that Fotis had actually met Michelle Draconis. And she seemed to be more of Fotis' type than Jennifer. She was a competitive water skier, and she had a lot in common with Fotis, unlike Jennifer, who was a writer and, I feel was more intelligent and used her mind more than, I guess, her body, if that just makes sense. I don't know. That makes sense to me. I guess. I don't know.
I mean, those are the two different types of women.
Yeah, exactly. So he began to have an affair with Michelle behind Jennifer's back in 2016. So Jennifer is not dumb, though. Again, she's a smart cookie.
Well, I mean, every girl's pretty smart.
And yeah, we're all detectives when it comes to this shit. All right. Listen, I'm a detective. So are you. We were talking about ramen place, and he went back through bank statements today just to find the ramen place. Like, he's a detective too, just for food, okay?
2020.
I'm a detective for true crime, and he's a detective.
The statement was from
food.
2020.
Yeah, from last year before we bought our house. So, yeah.
I'm fat. I like food.
So he's a detective too, all right? So anyway, she was smart as fuck, and she had begun to expect that something was going on between him and Michelle. And she just fucking called him out. She was like, "What the fuck is up? Are you having an affair? What is this shit?" And he did not deny it, actually. And this was in March of 2017. So
what?
It went for it. He didn't deny it. He was just like, "Yeah, I am."
You always deny it.
Excuse me?
Like that song.
It wasn't me?
It wasn't me.
Oh my God. No, I'll kill you. I mean, no, I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't. That's a joke.
See, now the truth comes out.
I still haven't killed anyone. That's a joke. Please don't come arrest me. I'm totally kidding.
Oh my God. See what happens?
I'm totally kidding.
See, she's trying to cover up right now.
This is the Kush part of Kush and Crime,
yes,
let me tell you.
But she's not trying to cover it up. She's not trying to cover it up. So
right.
You all heard it. Heard it.
I love you.
If there's a different co-host, it's because of that.
No. What? I do have plans to bring, like, guests and stuff on, so please don't think I killed my husband, because I wouldn't do that. I'm just high as fuck, and I'm having a hard time right now.
Or I'm on vacation with Rihanna.
With Rihanna?
Yep.
What the fuck? Okay. All right. All right. I don't even remember where we started on that tangent, but he didn't deny that he was having an affair with her, and he just straight up told her, "Yeah, I am." So Jennifer was like, "Fuck that," and took all 5 children and moved out to New Canaan. So New Canaan is at the bottom left part of the state. I like to call it the tail, and it's near there, and it's near New York. It's about an hour from New York and about an hour from Farmington. And it's near Lake Greenwich, New Canaan. I'm pretty sure.
That's where mostly lakes and rivers are, right?
It's like the other rich part of the state, close to New York. It's the suburbs of New York.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember where that is.
Right.
Now.
Okay. So she moved out there and she filed for a divorce with Fotis. And I can just imagine the amount of stress that she was going through. Just because now she found out that her husband is cheating, and will confirm that her husband is cheating. Now she's a single mom of 5 children, and now she's moving all the way to New Canaan to get away from this fucking asshole who's been controlling her. Oops. And then has been cheating on her as well. Okay. So their divorce continued out, and that divorce was just terrible. They were just dragging each other into court every 5 seconds. There was over 300 motions, like,
and they were
filed.
Still together throughout this whole thing?
No, they weren't together. They were living separately.
Let's just break up.
Yeah, no. So Fotis was actually living in Farmington, and guess who he moved in with him?
His ex-wife?
No, Michelle Draconis, the girl that he was cheating on Jennifer with.
Oh.
Yeah, and her daughter, not their daughter.
Damn.
Yeah. So, isn't that fucked?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm cheating on you, get the fuck out, and I'm moving my bitch in.
He had the little side booty on the side.
Just ready to fucking take her place. Like,
you on standby booty?
Oh my God. But yeah, so that's just fucked to me. Like, again, he moves on so quickly. It's because he starts these relationships while he's in other relationships.
It's crazy.
I know. So their divorce kept going, and she even said at one point in her affidavit, quote, "I know that filing for divorce and filing this motion will enrage him. I know he will retaliate by trying to harm me in some way," end quote. So at that point, she had actually filed for emergency custody for her children. She again claimed that Fotis was threatening to kidnap the children and had also recently purchased a gun.
Damn. Mm-hmm. Everyone knew about that now?
So this was in their divorce because she wanted to have full custody of the kids.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and at first she was denied. And basically it was said, quote, "The plaintiff has not established by a preponderance of the evidence that there is an immediate and present risk of physical danger or psychological harm to the parties as children," end quote. I didn't fucking understand what that meant. I'm too high for that shit. That basically meant that Jennifer did not give enough evidence to prove to the court that the children were in danger or of risk of being harmed physically or emotionally. So their battle in court continued on. It was super toxic. They had just kept dragging each other in there. And then after a year, she was actually awarded full custody in 2018 when it was found out that Fotis had actually broken multiple court orders.
Had to deal with that shit for a year?
Almost over a year, and they were still in their divorce when this ended up happening. They were still going through it, and actually Fotis had spent over $40,000 per year on his divorce alone.
God damn.
Yeah, and he also had $4 million of financial liabilities. Debt.
He should just donate to our funds.
Mm-hmm. Like the $40,000, that's more than half of my salary a year. Like, that's so much. And even though he was still in debt, he was still off traveling with Michelle and going to Europe and Florida and like other shit and spending a shit ton of money, like just fucking around.
Must be nice to be having money like that though.
But he didn't. He was in debt. So I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's like everyone else in the United States.
$4 million.
Rich people are all in debt.
That's a lot of money.
I would handle my money differently.
No, rich people are in debt. They have no debt.
There's always a rich people that's in debt.
Well, yeah, because they're covering it up.
Exactly.
They fucked up. Like this, kind of. So in 2018, while she was still going through this divorce, Jennifer's dad actually passed away, and then it came out that Fotis had actually not only owed the $4 million, but he also owed Jennifer's parents $2.5 million. Hey buds, I wanted to tell you about a book that I just received in the mail from my good friend LB Marvin. It's called Descent from the Blossoms, and it's a Grid City novel. It's the first book in a 3-part series, and I'm going to go ahead and read you the back. Grid City suffers. It suffers from corruption, it suffers from neglect and abuse, most of all, it suffers from mistakes. The powers of Grid begin to waver and lives interweave through threads of fate. As one story begins, another unfolds. The story of Grid is one, lives within it are many. This book is available right now anywhere you get your ebooks, as well as anywhere you get your hard copy books. I purchased mine from Amazon, and let me tell you, I actually did get the inside scoop on this book while it was still being written and edited. So I did get to see that there are some pretty bad bitches in this book. So if you like bad bitches, you should read this book.
We all love bad bitches.
Read it. It's called Descent from the Blossoms by LB Marvin. All right, so this brings us to May 23rd of 2019.
Okay,
the divorce is still going on like we talked about. And Jennifer has a nanny for her assistance with her 5 children because being a single mom and even 5 children, I'm sure is incredibly difficult. So her nanny's name is Lauren. I'm going to leave her last name out. I don't feel like we need to.
No.
So because Jennifer had multiple appointments the next day, May 24th, she was considering staying in New York that night because all her doctor's appointments were in New York.
Okay.
And she was just going to come back the next day, after her children's doctor's appointments and things like that, because her children also had doctor's appointments in New York.
Okay.
But she didn't end up doing that. So Lauren, which is the nanny, was supposed to stay over that night, but she didn't end up doing it because she was just like, you know what, I'm just going to stay with the kids and just go home, and then we'll see you tomorrow. No big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next day, Jennifer had started her morning per usual. So she had her morning routine. She got the kids ready, got them to school around 8 o'clock that morning. So she was seen on a neighbor's security camera arriving back home after dropping off her children, literally down the road. The school was like not that far at all. Like right after that. Sorry. So she has a Chevy Suburban. It's black. And then again, the vehicle is seen leaving at 10:25 a.m. So Lauren was doing her normal nannying duties when she came back to Jennifer's home that same morning, May 24th at 11:30. She had entered the home through the garage, noticed that one of the vehicles was gone, but was like, no big deal, because Jennifer was supposed to be in New York. That's no problem. So she got inside and she had noticed that Jennifer's purse was actually on the floor in the doorway between the mudroom and the kitchen. So you walk in and, rich people have a mudroom where it's usually sometimes there's the washer and dryers in there, and then you just like put your shoes typically in there.
Oh, like a porch almost?
Yeah, it's like a room between the garage and the rest of the house, essentially.
Gotcha.
So that's where her purse was, and it was on the floor. When she got inside, she noticed that her purse was on the floor in the mudroom, and then she just like kind of internalized that and continued on with what she would normally do. And like when she got there, so she washed Jennifer's mug for her, and then she noticed that the paper towels needed to be replaced, so she went to go grab some. So the night before, she had bought a brand new 12-pack, and she put it in the cabinet. But when she opened up the closet, she noticed that there were only 2 rolls of paper towels left.
Just so the audience knows, I don't know these stories. This is like story time for me.
Yeah. Okay. So
let the record be known.
Let the record reflect. So again, she had just bought a 12-pack and there was only 2 left. So she was like, what the fuck did these people do to use 10 rolls of paper towels?
That's a lot of freaking toilet paper. Holy crap.
Paper towels.
Oh, paper towels.
Okay.
Two separate. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Two different type of papers.
They are 2 different type of papers. Great job, babe.
And.
All right, so she
Suicide
noticed.
reference.
Oh my god. So she noticed that they were gone, and then she also noticed that 2 camping pillows were missing from the garage. Again, this is all normal to Lauren, but at a certain point, she started to become worried because she texted Jennifer once, no answer, twice, no answer, 3 times, no answer. And this is very, very not like Jennifer. Jennifer would always answer right away, especially with Lauren, because Lauren is normally with her children.
Okay.
So then she calls Jennifer, and again, no answer. So Lauren is starting to freak out. She's like, okay, this is so unlike Jennifer.
And the phone is still active?
The phone is still around, yeah.
Sheesh.
Okay. So, actually, no, it went straight to voicemail. My mistake. It went straight to voicemail. So, at this point, she is worried. And then she starts reaching out to Jennifer's family. And she's saying, I can't get a hold of Jennifer. Have you guys heard from Jennifer? Nobody's spoken to Jennifer. They try calling Jennifer. Nobody can get through to Jennifer. So, they are worried. And they actually end up going to police at around 7 p.m.
Girl power.
Yeah. When Lauren had met with police, it was like pretty soon after she already figured out that like Lauren was not around. And she met with them and she basically said, I feel like this is foul play. And do you want to guess who she thought it might be? Yes, Fotis Dulos. You are correct. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, so it was Fotis. So she said, I think it's Fotis. And, it wasn't just because...
to be fair, they always suspect the husband.
They do always, and I was just about to say that it's not only because of that, because they
always blame the guy.
No. There was an occasion where Lauren herself was working, and Fotis had chased Jennifer all the way from outside the house into the house, and Jennifer ran into the room and locked the door. And Fotis was banging on the door, so pissed off, like trying to get into the room, beating the shit out of the door, and Jennifer's behind it crying. And
he basically did a Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, he was trying to get in there, and Jennifer is obviously crying, and Fotis just kind of like looks, sees Lauren, sees one of his kids, and then it's like, oh hey, and like tries to calm down and like calms down because he didn't want to. Exactly.
Being fake with the kid.
Exactly. So again, what she's basically saying in her blogs is this, like, she's scared. So Lauren has seen this herself, and she lets police know, like, hey, I've personally seen this. And even Jennifer one time was just crying, and she asked Jennifer what happened, and she said that Fotis tried to hit her with his car, and she had to jump out of the way. So these fears that Jennifer has are so valid. If this shit's happening, you know what I mean? So Lauren tells police all of this, and they jump in action right away. She reports Jennifer missing at 7. They're looking for Jennifer at 8 p.m.
Jeez.
Yep. And they find her car, and they find...
That's pretty fast for Connecticut.
That is really fast. And I have to give the state police and New Canaan police a lot of credit with this case, because they did I would say, a damn good job investigating.
You go, guys.
You go. And it's not just because we're from Connecticut. All right. I want to notate here that Fotis was not allowed in Jennifer's home because of all of this shit.
So he, like, was on, like, restriction from the court?
No. Jennifer just didn't let him in his home.
Oh, okay.
In her home, rather. So
he basically broke in.
Well, this is just me letting you know this. But yeah, when he did run in there, essentially he did break in. So after Lauren tells police all of these things, they waste no time. They jump right in and they start stopping people in New Canaan. They just start questioning everybody. They start handing out flyers. They start doing aerial searches of the area. And they had actually found Jennifer's car, her black Suburban, in Waveney Park in New Canaan, which is about 3 miles from her home. So probably like a 5-6 minute drive, maybe?
Probably around there.
Yeah, so, and in the vehicle itself, they had found what appeared to be a blood-like substance, and that the all-weather liner was missing from the trunk. When they got to her house, pretty much right away, they could tell something was up. Okay. They found a concerning amount of blood spattered on a trash can in the home, in the garage, in Jennifer's master bedroom, and just kind of like in different places around the house.
Damn, he did a sloppy job.
Hold on. So in the garage, the blood appeared to be smeared on the ground. So like if you dropped a whole bunch of liquid or water, you would like rub it kind of in circles. That's kind of what it looked like. Like somebody was just like quickly cleaning up blood. And there was also some blood on the spare car. And Lauren didn't notice any of this when she went in because she wasn't necessarily looking for that. You know what I mean?
How did she not notice it?
Well, maybe she, like, I don't know, it could have been dark or something, but she wasn't necessarily sitting there thinking, like, something bad is happening. And then she pretty much went right away because she had to also get the kids, remember? Okay. So she had to get the kids. She had to get out of the house anyway. She wasn't there for that long. She had to take the kids to their doctor's appointments. They still had to go. And then she went pretty much straight to police. So, you know, to be fair, she probably didn't spend that much time in the house initially. Okay. They probably walked her back through after. Okay. Again, they saw blood that was kind of like spread on the floor, and they called in the backup at that point to Connecticut State Police because they, at that point, were like, this is not good. We need backup, which, again, good on them for acknowledging that because as you'll see as we do this, a lot of police departments have like this ego and they won't call in backup.
Yeah. And
that's shitty. Like, don't you just want to get the case solved? But unfortunately, that happens. But thankfully, in this case, it did not. So it was determined by the medical examiner for the state that Jennifer would not have survived the wounds that produced this much blood without getting medical attention. The blood was tested to make sure it was hers, obviously. I'm trying to do things in a series of events here. So it does get tested down the road, and it is hers. So I'm just going to say that from going forward. She's now at this point presumed dead by the state.
Oh, damn.
Yes. So
just and because of the amount of blood that they found or something?
Yeah, because they felt that she wouldn't have been able to survive it. And that's what the amount that they found. Imagine what they didn't find.
The body?
No, they didn't. Oh, they still haven't.
Oh, damn.
We'll get to that, though. Again, it was determined that she was dead. So this is where the investigation just, like, took off, because you pretty much have a dead person, and you need to find the body. You need to find out who did it. You need to figure out what the situation is, who the big players are. And obviously with Lauren coming in and saying, I think Fotis did it, and like that is who they're going to look at first. And like you said, husband did it, so they automatically look at him first.
Okay.
That's what happens here. And the day after the disappearance, police, had called in Fotis for questioning and be like, hey, what's going on? And they had asked him to be there for 11. Guess what time he got there?
12.
2:47 p.m.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours later.
Yeah, it was
actually
with
3 hours later.
Yeah, and it was with 4 almost. It was with his attorney, Jacob, Pie Tranker, who is not his lawyer. Tranker. Yeah, I'm sorry. Who is not his lawyer going forward after this. This is his lawyer in this moment, and he does get a different lawyer down the road. So he was outside talking on his cell phone, and Fotis was inside, and asked, when he came in, he was just like, is there any news on my wife and her disappearance or whatever? And
typical serial killer fakeness.
Yeah, just like trying to figure out what they know, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
And the detective said, yeah, we're looking for her. Of course, we're looking for her. Like, duh. We're not going to tell you what we know. Are you fucking kidding me?
Like, you're not one of us?
No, like, yeah, and you're the prime suspect at this point. Like, no. No. So the officer's intent here was to bring Fotis in the back for questioning, because obviously, he is their prime suspect. And they just like, okay, let's go. And they let him know that they're entering into a secure area and ask if he has any weapons or contraband. Typical. If you're going into a secure area, you can't have any of that shit.
Exactly.
So he just started taking the things out of his pocket and then began muttering, where's my phone? Playing dumb as fuck. Just playing dumb. Like, fuck you. You know where your phone is. So around this time, his lawyer...
So passionate.
I'm sorry. I fucking hate him. I hate his eyes. He has dead eyes. And I know I said that he's kind of handsome. He is kind of handsome, but his eyes are dead. So I don't...
Oh,
I said that earlier, and now you're noticing? Okay. Oh. Okay, so around this time, Fotis' lawyer came back, and he was telling detectives that, no, you're not going to be interviewing my client today, and we are leaving. So the detectives were like, oh, really? We thought Fotis would be interested in helping us look for Jennifer, if that's his wife, and, why wouldn't he be interested in looking? Why are you guys leaving? And during this time, Fotis' lawyer hands him the cell phone that he was on. Hands Fotis the cell phone. And he's like, the police are like, oh, is that your phone? And Fotis is like, yeah. And then hands it right over to them. So the detective's like, okay. And he puts that shit on airplane mode. And the lawyer starts freaking out because he's like, whoa, you can't take my client's phone. Da-da-da-da-da. And not exactly like that, but obviously. So he's going off because the detective takes Fotis' phone. And they're saying, like, you can't take that. And the detective puts it on airplane mode to protect everything.
I never use airplane mode.
Well, apparently, when the detective puts your phone on airplane mode, it prevents everything from getting erased remotely, I read in the affidavit.
Never knew that.
Well, now you know, so I guess
the
that's...
more you learn.
The more you learn. Yes, that is true. So, again...
Magic rainbow. Butterflies in the sky.
Have you heard the DMX remix of that?
Yes.
It's the best. I'm sorry, guys. So Fotis' lawyer, which I really had a hard time saying his name. He's not his lawyer going forward, so I really don't care. Had asked the detective what the hell he was doing, and he said, I'm securing the phone. I believe that there is evidence here that relates to the disappearance of Jennifer, and he let them know that I'm going to be obtaining a search and seizure warrant for the cell phone and the records. And Fotis' lawyer was just angry and just was trying to argue that they had no right to take the cell phone, but the detective is right that Fotis just handed it over. So
yeah, it's like evidence.
Yeah, it is evidence, and it's not like they're going to search it until the warrant came back. And basically the lawyer said that he needed a moment outside of his client. I'm not sure. I couldn't find any information if they just left at that moment, But I think they did. They were just like, nah, let's get out of here, because they had a cell phone. There's nothing else we could really do. So the police did get the search warrant for the phone, and they took a look at the records, and they noticed that the phone was in the area of Albany Avenue in Hartford during the night of May 24th.
I think I know where that is.
Yeah, and that was the day that Jennifer went missing. So obviously this is worth looking into.
Yeah.
Okay. Hartford is the capital of Connecticut, and as you can imagine, it's very busy, and there's streetlights and cameras
everywhere. At night, I don't know if you guys are very familiar with retro gaming. At night, it's like Streets of Rage. Fight your way out of freaking Hartford to get yourself into safety and home.
Yeah, Albany Ave, especially, like, I'm pretty sure that's a bad area. And then, like, just Hartford itself, like, if you're from Connecticut and you don't live in Hartford, you don't go to Hartford.
It's like the Vampires comes out.
Yeah, you only go there if you need something from, like, the state itself.
Yeah,
like I went there once for, like, my copy of my birth certificate.
Like governor help, like Social Security, like benefits, snaps, and
literally something
copies
government
of your documents or something like that.
Literally government. So exactly, you don't go there.
Other than that, it's like Zombieland
or like, work, but you don't go there at night, especially.
Think of it like this: like during the day, like the people that are into zombie modes. So during the day, Hartford is like the slow walkers, basically. And like everyone's all over the place, everyone's fighting each other, whatever, helping each other sometimes, but it's like the slow walkers. And then at night, you have like those Dawn of the Dead walkers that run at you aggressively, and you gotta fight your way out of it just to get yourself into safety. And then your car gets like stolen or something like that. Like that's how bad it is.
Okay, well, I've never really had an experience like that in Hartford.
I grew up in Hartford. All right.
So
just like, let's see, I grew up there, and then I went to New Britain when I was 12. Hard hitting New Britain from there on.
I fucking hate that term.
Hard hitting.
Oh my god. All right. Let's recoup here, okay? Ozzy, get it together.
Representing.
Okay. So, Hartford is the capital, and it's not a great area, as we've established. So, naturally, New Canaan police are like, let's check those cameras. Let's see what's going on there. And they take a look. So, they find footage of a Ford Raptor that is registered to Fotis' company, again, which is the Ford Group. And they see it traveling around the area of at around 7:40 p.m. on the night that Jennifer went missing. So again, May 24th. So in the bed of the truck, they see plastic bags, and they see a male in the vehicle stop, take trash bags out, put them in trash bins. Move a little bit further down, more trash bags, more trash bins.
Jeez.
So he goes and he's dumping different trash into different trash bins. Okay? And these are black plastic bags. This is happening, and then there's also a woman with him on the cell phone at one of the stops. They also see the man, who they now determine at this point to be Fotis, dumping a white envelope into a storm drain. So police are basically like, okay, we gotta get down there right now. We need to go see if we can get that trash. We need to find out what the hell is in that storm drain. So they go, and they end up finding trash bags with like paper towels in them.
Basically, like the cover-up
towels
supplies
that look to have blood on them, clothing that Jennifer is known to have with blood on them, just things like that. Cleaning supplies, exactly.
Jeez.
They quickly grab all that stuff and they test it. And then they also
He basically set himself right there.
Well, hold on. If all that wasn't damning, just you wait till we get a little bit further. So they go to that intersection that he dumped that white envelope. What do you think was in that? Don't look at my screen.
I mean, it could be like a goodbye letter.
No. I will tell you what it is. So it was plates, Connecticut state plates, that were altered to read 5T6 WBU, but actually read 516 WDJ. which were canceled plates of a Suburban that belonged to no other than Fotis Dulos.
They were just recently canceled?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So, because the trash, some of it had already been taken to the dumps, police had to go through so much trash. And I honestly think that they thought that they were going to find Jennifer's body out there.
That must suck, going to the dump and digging all that out.
Yeah. Yeah, but they didn't find her, and they did find all of those trash bags in Hartford, though. So they went out and they sent out all of that evidence. So in that bag, it had DNA belonging to Fotis. It had DNA belonging to Jennifer. And it actually had DNA belonging to Michelle Draconis.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's like a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. So, due to the evidence found, arrest warrants were both issued for Michelle and Fotis for tampering with or fabricating physical evidence and hindering prosecution in the first degree. So at this point, they couldn't prove that they killed her or he killed her, but they could prove that they definitely tampered with evidence, so that's what they were charging them on. Just now to get them...
Just tampering for now?
Just tampering for now, just to get them into their grasp, okay? So this whole time, they were trying to get a hold of Michelle. So right from the moment that Jennifer went missing, they're trying to get a hold of Michelle. They're trying to see what she knows, if anything. And they're looking at Michelle as someone that could help them, and not as really necessarily somebody that is involved in the investigation, I think, at first. But eventually, I think that they just realized, like, hey, I think she's definitely part of it if she's not coming back to us. So when she gets arrested after that DNA comes back, she speaks to them and she tells them a story. It's outlined of, spending a whole day with Fotis. We woke up, we had a shower together, we had breakfast, we went to Stop and Shop.
Story.
Right, like just outlining all of this like bullshit bullet points, bullshit for lack of better words. It's a bunch of bullshit. So they are telling her this, and then they're like, okay, well, what about the surveillance footage that you're on with Fotis in Hartford, and he's dumping garbage bags? What's he dumping?
Got called out, maybe.
So she just like, I don't know what we were talking about. I don't know. I don't know. So she was arrested, and that was the first time she had spoken to authorities. And the next day, Fotis's home in Farmington was searched.
Oh.
And what they would find there, I would say, is very interesting. Okay, so what they found was what they call an alibi script that highlights a day, May 24th to be exact, that sounds exactly like what Michelle had said to police.
So basically he told her what to say to the cops.
Yeah, so they came up with it together, and not only did it mention Michelle and Fotis, but it also mentioned Fotis's other lawyer, Kent Mulhenny.
Whoa. Lois, get my Batman glass. What?
Yes, so there's also a lawyer involved in this.
Wow, talk about corruption over here.
Yep, so, I'm so glad you never watched this case while we were in Connecticut, because this is great to watch it unfold for you.
I don't really follow the news.
I know, but yeah, so there's another lawyer involved in this, and he's highlighted also in these alibi scripts as provided with an alibi.
That's nuts.
Yup. So police end up realizing, like, hey, these alibis are fake as shit. These are not real alibis. So they arrest her.
Yep. Good.
Yeah. Let's go back to, the day that Jennifer went missing. So May 24th. So we're in June right now where Michelle got arrested. So let's go back to May 24th. On that day, they did a lot of searches for vehicles around the area of when Michelle went missing. They actually found a Tacoma with those plates that were altered, that were on there. Okay. And they followed that Tacoma from Farmington all the way out to New Canaan, and then it was in New Canaan, parked in the same exact spot for quite a bit of time, and it was seen with a bike in the back when it was coming down to Farmington, but when it went back to Farmington, it did not have a bike in the back. Okay, So, what the police found out is that that truck had actually belonged to one of Fotis's employees at the Ford Group. And it turns out that Fotis took that truck without the employee knowing, even though the employee was the one that drove it, and took it out and used it and then brought it back. So, again, police track all of those movements, and then they kind of connect the two, obviously.
Okay.
So, they talk to the owner of the truck, and they say, hey, man, what's going on with the truck? We found this truck, and they let him know. Fotis took the truck, and when he gave it back, he was very insistent on me changing these seats. And he kept pushing me, and like, to get me to change the seats, and he wanted to take the car again, and I told him no.
Probably because they had blood on them.
Hold on. You're right, but let me get there. Damn it.
Damn. Yes.
Yeah, you're right. So, basically, Fotis was pushing to have those replaced, and he was like, here, take these from the Porsche. That's why I said I knew he had a Porsche. So, take these from the Porsche that's crashed over there.
Porsche, too?
No, he was like, take these seats from the Porsche, put them in there, and get rid of those seats. If you know what, I'll get rid of those seats for you.
Okay.
And the guy was like, no, I'll take care of it. Don't you worry. And he kept the seats.
Jeez.
So he let police know, hey, I kept these seats. I think that they're worth you looking at, And they did test them, and yes, you're right. It did come back with Jennifer's blood on them.
So, what's up?
So, Fotis was arrested also.
Good.
With all of this, okay? And
About
an arraignment, and he was put on bond. But at the arraignment for the bond, his lawyer requested the bond be lowered because he is a, quote, upstanding citizen, and he has 2 prestigious degrees.
Freak out of here.
Literally fucking ridiculous, okay? But he posted bond and was required to then have a GPS monitoring.
Probably because he has money.
Definitely. And relinquish his passport.
Like,
and he was placed under house arrest with only places he could go would be to work, to meet with his lawyers, or to go to the doctor. And then he could go to the store as well.
Okay.
All right. So, again, that guy, he told them all about the seats, and he brought that to them, and they tracked all the movement. So their theory at this point is that Fotis took the Tacoma with the altered plate, went up to New Canaan. They took his bike, which was a, limited edition European bike, because why not make it more obvious that you did it, Fotis? And
like his motorcycle bike, or
no, it's like a bicycle bike. Remember, he's very sporty,
gotcha.
so he had a nice bicycle. Okay. So he rode his fancy schmancy bike and waited for Jennifer.
Was it a mongoose?
No, it wasn't a mongoose. He waited for Jennifer to get back in the house. He went into Jennifer's house, broke in, waited for her to come in. And then when she came back into the house after dropping the kids off,
he did a spinning heel kick.
He killed her and then cleaned up the mess and then drove her car back to Waveney Park, and then I'm assuming put her body in the Tacoma.
Oh.
That's why there was blood on the seats.
Okay.
So at that point, I don't think police can, there's a certain amount of time that I don't think police can track where the Tacoma went or something, but I just don't know, and nobody knows, obviously, where the fuck he put her body.
Almost like a missing footage off cameras? Or?
I don't know if it's missing footage or what's going on. I don't know if there's time unaccounted for. That just may be a fuck up in my research. I couldn't find that information. But I just don't know, where did her body go? What the fuck did he do with it?
Damn.
Yeah. So, that truck...
And you're literally like a detective over this.
I went pretty deep into it. This took a little bit of time for me.
And you still couldn't find it?
I couldn't find it. So, that's their theory. So, again, they're talking to the guy that owns the truck, and they let him know, yeah, he took the truck again. Michelle took the keys from me, and I couldn't take the truck, but Fotis offered me his truck. I said no. So it turns out that Michelle took the keys in an effort to keep the car away from the guy who owned it so they can clean it. So guess who brings it to a fucking detail shop and a car wash? Ferdos. Okay, for those of you that don't know, that's one of my old coworkers.
Sorry.
I could say a lot of things about her, but I won't. because they're all mean. So, Fotis, yes, Fotis did bring it.
Fotis, that's
Fotis.
what I meant.
Fotis did bring it to the car wash with Michelle right in tow, picking it up from a fucking detail.
Sorry for those. They sound the same.
No. Okay, so he brought it to the detail place, and there's Michelle. So at this point, you know, all of this is lining up to be like, damn, bro, why did you just wear a sign that said I did it?
Yeah, seriously, like, you gotta be dumb stupid to do that. Like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, let me just take my car to the detail shop.
Yeah. Yeah. So the seats, again, came back with Jennifer's DNA. All the stuff in the bags came back with Jennifer's DNA and Fotis's. And only one thing had Michelle's DNA on it. So I told you about how Fotis's lawyer was also in those alibi scripts, but I do have those alibi scripts like highlighted hour by hour. So I just took a couple of examples off of it. So at 7:10, made breakfast for her daughter. 7:20, took her daughter to school. 8:12 p.m. back home. 8:30, made breakfast for herself. 12 p.m. had lunch with Fotis. Literally, but like alibi. So she at a point she got arrested again once her DNA was all found on everything, and she admitted to police that the notes were to quote help them remember, quote unquote. So there, I just did air quotes, like you guys can see that. So the police investigated these scripts. Yeah, it really did. And again, like I said, they determined them all to be fake, and even Kent was arrested as well. And Fotis was charged with felony murder and kidnapping. Michelle and Kent were charged with conspiracy to commit murder. So this is everybody's, well, Michelle and Fotis's second arrest. This is Kent's first.
Damn, she's like a felon.
These are definitely felony charges, let me tell you. Yes. Okay. So Fotis's bail was set at $6 million, and Michelle and Kent's were set to $2 million each. Yeah, Michelle posted hers. I don't know if Kent posted his. I didn't want to go too far into it because his case is still going. I don't know. And Michelle's case is still ongoing, so, you know, I didn't go too far into it. I wanted to mostly keep it about Fotis and Jennifer. So at this point, the state is going for it. They're going for, you know, a charge for murder for Fotis, and there is no body. So this is a really hard case to prove, and all the the defense is going to do is just say, like, well, there's no evidence that she's actually dead, and that's kind of all that his defense is that his attorneys attempt to paint the picture that Jennifer is simply just gone, and that the evidence was planted against Fotis in an effort to hurt him, and it can be similarly compared to Gone Girl. And I asked you if you saw that, and you said that you didn't?
I didn't.
Okay. So in Gone Girl, a wife goes missing, and all the evidence points to the husband killing her. Like, so much, in fact, that everybody turns against him. And he kind of investigates on his own and finds out that she is actually not dead, and she faked her death / kidnapping to get back at him for being a shitty husband, which he really wasn't. And she's basically crazy. Damn. And, and she forces him to... It's a crazy book. I didn't watch the movie. And basically forces him to pretend that he is happy and do what she wants. Which is like, whoa. They would have some serious issues. But let me just assure you that this is not the case with Jennifer. The amount of evidence is crazy, and I think that they did a great job with its case. So what do you think so far?
So far, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think that they did a really great job. But anyway, I digress.
Especially, like, even not finding a body, like, they did a pretty good job with all of that.
Yeah, and they still had a really strong case without a body. And to be fair, if she had lost that much blood and nobody's heard from her, no credit card, no nothing movement, that's how you know that, you know, she's not coming back, unfortunately. But let's bring it back to Michelle. So when she was arrested the second time in September, she had actually turned herself in. And with this, obviously the police were trying to get her to cooperate with them and give them more information about Fotis. They're basically saying, Michelle, he's a piece of shit. You know, we pretty much know that he did this. We just need you.
We know that you did it, but we just want you to confess it.
Exactly. Like, we want to help. Like, we want information. And I think that, yeah, and they're like, why are you defending him? You know he's a piece of shit. And she says, I'm not defending him. I never want to see him again. And that's kind of where everything just starts to fucking fall apart.
Fall apart.
Yeah, everything just like deviates from what she was saying. And, you know, we only know when things start changing that dramatically. It's when people are lying, because it's easy to remember the truth. You only have to remember one series of events. But when you're lying, you have to remember every single thing that you said. And they fucking detailed that shit to every 10 minutes. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Every 10 minutes?
Well, not every 10 minutes, but it's kind of...
The same.
Yeah, like, they really detailed it all out. But eventually, she ended up cracking, and she said, I didn't know where Fotis was that morning. And, you know, he left his cell phone at the house, which was unlike him. And everything on the alibi scripts was a lie. So, they did have lunch together, though. But she never asked where he went. And Jennifer never came up in the conversation. Yeah, I'd be like, where'd you go?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like, excuse me, where did you go this morning without telling me and leaving your phone here? That's very unlike you, and I don't like that. Excuse you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at that point, you know what? If she did know something was up and she really didn't want to cover for him, and, like, she should have just went to police. I'm sure she would have been fine. Like, are you fucking kidding me? But that just makes me feel like she probably did have something to do with it. And when she was talking to police, she had also said that she was, Fotis was cleaning up from the Tacoma coffee stain, air quotes again. And, like, he handed her a rag, and she put it in the trash bag. So that's how her DNA got on that rag, with Jennifer Dulos' blood. So police questioned her. They're like, what does the stain look like? She said, I can't remember what the color is, but it didn't smell like coffee, and the towel wasn't one of the bags that were found in Hartford. So at this point of the case, Fotis is on house arrest, and we're getting close to his trial. And because so far we've just had interviews and bond hearings, and the charges have been laid for Fotis, those are murder, kidnapping, and evidence tampering. So in January of 2020, Fotis went out to the grocery store. And during one of these trips out, he stopped at a memorial for Jennifer, took some of the items, and then went back home.
That's fucked up.
I know it is. It is fucked up. So, because of this...
Like, how do you do that?
Exactly. Like, why would you do that? So, because of this, they pull him back into a bond hearing. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you going to do that?
Yeah, like, seriously.
So they end up...
It's so wrong in so many levels.
Yeah. So they end up actually reevaluating his bond and put him on a stricter house arrest where he can't go to the store or can't go to work or can't go... He has to stay at his home unless he is going to court.
Jeez.
Okay? So, yeah.
He deserves it, though.
Definitely. Like, what the fuck? Like, imagine being his lawyer. I'd be so pissed off. I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me?
But see, that's the thing that intrigues me, too, sometimes about horror is, like, as a lawyer, like, your job is tough at times because you know you're doing the wrong thing, but, like, you gotta do your job and defend them and stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's fucked up. It really is.
Like, it fucks you mentally, like, you know, the whole process.
Yeah, seriously. And I remember at this point in the media, like, every news station was, like, posting every update as soon as they got it. And, like, everybody was captured, except you, apparently. Like, I was, like, so intrigued by this. Like, I would walk by the TV at work, and I would just stand there, and I'd wait until the news segment moved on. And he had done an interview with the press also at the beginning of this, like, Jennifer, come home, just like Chris Watts, which... I think we watched a video on that. I don't know if you know who that is, but true crime people will actually know. So
we'll cover him in another episode.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, they're begging. He's begging Jennifer to come home, even though they were not even together. Which is like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And his eyes, like, they're so dead. You know, I told you already. Like, they're just so dead. Yeah, dead eyes. So a few days after that hearing, on January 28th. Dulos got called back in again to the court for an emergency bond hearing due to the judge addressing questions about collateral that Fotis used to post the bond on him. That, like, when he went to jail, when he went back to that bond hearing previously, like when he got put on stricter. So they were like, we don't know about this collateral because apparently he used 6 properties to put up the $6 million bond.
Jesus,
and
6.
Yeah, and because one of those properties was actually under foreclosure, it wouldn't be able to be used. So the company that provided him the bond to get stay out of prison was Palmetto Surety, and they revoked it. And Dulos had an arrest warrant in process.
Boom, bitch.
But this is on January 28th. Fotis didn't show up to that hearing.
Yeah, but see, the fact that you had to, like, put properties just to cover your bond, that's just nuts.
Literally. But he didn't show up to the hearing.
What?
So, police went to check in on him
You
at his
did
home.
all that work and you... Oh, my
$6 million, right?
Yeah,
so,
like nothing.
Police went to check in on him at his home in Farmington and found him in the garage with the car turned on and the door closed.
So he killed himself like a little bitch.
Yep, and there was also a note found.
Wow.
But he was actually still alive.
He rage quit.
He was actually still alive, though, and he was taken to Yukon, and then he was airlifted to Jacoby.
Oh, he's still alive?
He was still alive.
Wow.
Listen up, sir. He was still alive, taken to Yukon, and then was airlifted to Jacoby Medical Center in New York, and he received oxygen therapy. He died 2 days later.
A waste of oxygen.
Can I just say I hated this so much, like, watching it? I was so pissed.
Waste of oxygen.
I was so pissed because fuck you. You did this. You
did this.
You did this.
You did this.
Exactly.
Nick,
and
if you're listening to this,
you did this.
You did this.
Yeah, and literally, like, you are getting away from it.
Not Nick, literally. It's just an inside joke.
No, it's one of our friends.
One of my best friends.
It's alright. So, like, he did this, and he's just taking the easy way out. Like, justice is not being served. It's just I was so pissed to hear about this. And it's bullshit. Like, really? How are you going to do that to Jennifer's family? How are you going to do that to your children?
Yeah.
Not only did you kill their mom, you killed yourself. Are you fucking kidding me?
No soul.
And now, because you don't want to face what you actually did?
Like, man up and, like, if you were man enough to kill your whole entire family, like, you should be man enough to, like, handle the consequences. Yeah,
and basically he heard that, like, his bond was being revoked, and he's like, oh, fuck no, I am not going back in the jail. And I actually do have the note if you want me to read it to you.
Is it spoopy?
No, I'll read it. It's not that bad.
Then bring it on.
It says, if you're reading this, I am no more. I refuse to spend even an hour more in jail for something that I had nothing in all caps, to do with. Enough is enough. And if it takes my head to end this, so be it. I want it to be known that Michelle Troconis had nothing to do with Jennifer's disappearance, and neither did Kent Mulwiney. That's his lawyer. I asked the state to let them free of any such accusations. I also asked the state to stop harassing my friends, who I am redacting from this. They're honorable people. Please let my children know that I love them and I would do anything to be with them, but unfortunately we all have our limits. The state will not rest until I rot in jail. My attorney can explain what happened with the bag on Albany Ave. Everything else is a story fabricated by law enforcement. I want to thank my family and friends that have stood by me in this difficult time. And I'm just going to cut out the last line, but basically he's thanking his friend for being there, and he said, I'm sorry I can't be stronger.
Oh my gosh, shut up.
Yeah, so he bitched out, essentially, and you know what is kind of fucked is, like, he waited until the very end to mention his children, like, oh, and by the way, make sure you tell my kids I love them. But Michelle and Kent are innocent, and I didn't do it.
Right.
You know, like, fuck you, Fotis. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. The fact that he literally, like, had to, like, do that whole process with the... It's just all mind-fucked.
It is.
It's all mind-fuck.
It's completely fucked.
It's like, there's a lot of evidence towards him, but there's not a lot of hardcore evidence.
Right. It's just completely fucked. And there is one good thing that did come from this, though. I do have to say. So,
what's that?
So Connecticut created a new law, actually, or a bill, I don't know. So with Jennifer's divorce, remember, it was very terrible with Fotis, and there was so much back and forth, and he was practically controlling her by bringing her back into that courtroom.
Oh, speaking of which, it's like, my other thought on that is that, like, you know, if she broke up with you or you broke up with her, just walk away. Just, why kill everyone?
Yeah, like, let it be. Just like, yeah, exactly. So he was making threats and all of that stuff, very abusive, very controlling. In 2021, so this year, Jennifer's Law, a bill to expand the state's definition to include coercive control, was passed. This was due to influences from this case and a case of Jennifer Magnano.
Finally, well, that's actually decent.
So Jennifer McManus was actually fatally shot in front of her children in 2007 by her husband Scott. They were also in a terrible divorce case going back and forth with child custody disputes, and Scott also ended up killing himself. So coercive control is defined as a, quote, a pattern of behavior toward a person who is or has been an intimate partner or family or household member, which causes fear or harm to person or restricts such a person's freedom of action, unquote. Examples of this would be isolating a person from family and friends, like we talked about earlier, controlling someone's activities, like what they do, isolating a person, stalking and cyber stalking. And this bill also makes this grounds for restraining order and other protections. So if this stuff is happening to you, you can get a restraining order. You can keep the person away. This is a change that has come to because of such bad things that have happened.
Is that for guys too?
I'm not sure. I would assume so.
It better be.
Yeah, I mean, it's just called Jennifer's Law because it's because of those influences. I would assume it's for anybody in a situation like that. Good. You can get help. You can get away. You can get away from the things that, are hurting you. For example, my mom, I don't think I ever told you this, but she was being followed by her ex. And he would, he would stalk her. Like, literally, I've seen this. We were at an outing together, and he just showed up, and they weren't even together. And shit like this, my mom could have had a restraining order. And not that he would have followed it, but... and for Jennifer, maybe a restraining order might have meant her life. Maybe she could have been okay. Maybe it didn't have to come to this.
Yeah.
And even a lot of people within the creation of the bill were victims themselves. And I'm sure we all know someone.
Understood her.
Yeah, and I'm sure we all, whether they told you or not, know someone that has been or currently is in a domestic abuse type situation. And if you are, please remember that there is help available for you. And while it may seem like your abuser may have control over your entire life or you may be too scared, there is always help for you. If you need help, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-779-SAFE, or you can chat or text as well. And for more information, you can go to thehotline.org.
And this includes to all guys, too, that are in domestic violences as well. Just because this majority of the cases are all girls, that doesn't mean that us guys are alone. So if you do feel like this at any point of your relationship, just give them a call and they'll take care of you right away.
Yeah, definitely don't hesitate. And you can, like I said, you can also text them and you can chat online with them as well if you're not in a situation where it's safe to talk to someone.
You're not alone. Remember that.
Yeah, definitely not. And if you have any information on the Jennifer Dulos case, please reach out to the New Canaan Police Department at 203-594-3544. And you can also email tips to find Jennifer Dulos at newcanaanct.gov. And it's Canaan, Canaan. 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 Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
And if you like this episode, you can find us on Instagram at Kush and Crime.
Kush and Crimes.
On Twitter at KushandCrime.com. Just Kush and Crime. And if you'd like to support us and gain access to some awesome goodies, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/
Trust me, it's worth it.
Kush and Crime. And if you have any case suggestions or just want to reach out to us, you can email us at cushandcrime@gmail.com. But if you really want to support us, just spread the word, and if you think that was worth a listen, or if you know somebody that might like that.
And definitely give us your feedback on things that we need to improve, since this is our first podcast. So
yeah, but don't be too mean, okay? I'll cry. I'm just kidding. Thanks again for listening, and
love
please smoke responsibly. And if you're in a state that it's legal, congratulations. Adios.